guys, Malika Salam, purple hair and Converse. I am here with the beautiful and talented Giovanni and Dortch.
Hi.
Giovanni is, I'm trying to figure out how to put into words all of the things that you do. I guess I'll just start with ZEN-ZILE's Way.
Okay.
So that is your company, and under that company, there's a bunch of things that you do. There's writing and editing, and then you're doing community service projects. There's some things we're working on together. So in order to get all of that information, you'll want to read the full profile at www.purplehairanconverse.com. But now I'm going to ask Giovanni the 7 questions that I ask everybody. So let's start with question number 1. Okay. Giovanni, how do you make your magic?
How do I make my magic? I make my magic through a lot of focus and concentration and a little bit of fun, and lots of multitasking. So focus, concentration, fun, and multitasking.
Speaking of multitasking, I'm going to ask the question, but I kind of already know the answer, so we'll just tie these two together.
Okay.
So the second question is, what do you collect? Obviously, for multitasking, there's a multitude of ways that you can do that. And one way is through some of the things that you collect, which is?
I collect office supplies.
Yay,
so
office supplies.
I love a good pen. I love a colorful Post-it note. I love things that are unique and fun. So I brought a little bit of my collection today. So this is a great notebook that I found at Target, and it's just beautiful. It's got this gold embossed peacock on it. It's a turquoise notebook, and it's lined pages. So I just absolutely love this, and it's so beautiful. And it makes me feel peaceful when I have to carry this around and I can write notes in it. So lots of great notebooks and journals. Here's another one. This faux crocodile skin with a snap clasp. Also lined with these sort of gilded edge pages. So fancy notebooks.
Yes.
Yeah, so turquoise is one of the signature colors for ZEN-ZILE's Way. So I really like that notebook. Another thing I collect is pens and writing utensils. So these are like the best pens that I have newly discovered and shared with Malika. These are the Styler pens. I've kind of customized them with some colors that I like. But they come in this cool box that you just set down once you clip the back, and you have an easel. So your pens are just ready for you to pull out and write with. So I love these. If you see me at a meeting, you will see me break out the whole Styler pack and sit it on the desk and color code my notes. So,
and people will say you don't need all of these pens. Those people are lying.
They are so like those are the unorganized people who can't find things that they wrote down in places.
Exactly.
That's who they are. Another thing, speaking of writing things down places, I love to collect Post-it notes. So I literally have a virtual rainbow of Post-it notes. So I'm just going to hold up the stack here so you guys can see. They're not in color order, but these are some awesome purple Post-its, purple and lavender.
I got purple and lavender Post-it notes that Giovanni gave me.
We're Post-it note twins. So, and these are some awesome Post-it notes. White, because you can write anything in white, and you get what you need to see. Red, my mom gifted me these because I was actually complaining one year of not being able to find red Post-it notes, because I found them one year and then years later I couldn't find anymore, and my mom actually found me red Post-it notes. And one of my favorites, black.
Yay!
These are black Post-it notes. And I love black Post-it notes because one of the things I like to collect are pens. So you have to be able to write on things with your gold and silver pens. And black Post-it notes are the things you write on. So this is your gift.
Yay! Okay.
So, I love nature. Nature teaches us about overcoming adversity. It teaches us about renewal, growth. So if any of you, I'll put a nice little photo. I have a plant collection. So I've got some vines and some aloe vera and some spider plants and bamboo.
Nice.
So I have a lovely little indoor garden. So nature inspires me. Just the beauty and all the lessons we learn from nature. So
yes, nature is
urban
awesome.
gardening. Yeah, the survival of nature. Like, you can't hold nature back. So nature definitely inspires me.
And it does what it wants to do and what it's supposed to do. Because like I said, I wanted to grow flowers. Right. And then I had another friend tell me that maybe I wasn't meant to grow flowers. So I have all of these wild herbs growing in my yard. Mm-hmm. And where I wanted to grow flowers, I thought these were weeds and they started taking over, but it actually turns out that they're medicinal herbs. And she's like, maybe you're supposed to grow herbs and food.
Awesome.
And she's like, maybe you're not a flower person.
Yeah, and maybe that's way more practical anyway. So,
and I had another friend tell me that. They were like, you're not a flower though. Like, you're functional, so it would make sense that you would grow functional
You're not
things.
here for decoration.
Exactly. I'm here to do stuff. We're here to do stuff.
We're here to do stuff.
Takeaway from this Women's Empowerment Wednesday, we're here to do stuff.
Here to do stuff. It's time to make it happen.
All right, so question number 4.
Okay.
Obviously, 90% of the time, what's on my feet is Converse. As soon as I can find some Converse flip-flops, 100% of the time, I'm in Converse. So 90% of the time, what's on your feet?
What's on my feet is a great, fun polish and sandals. So I love my sandals. I had these fun blue sandals that I normally wear with this that have like these 3 metal rings on the center of the foot.
Those.
You've seen those.
Mm-hmm.
But today I'm wearing some gold sandals because I've got this lovely gold on my toes. So
and on your fingers.
I got gold on my fingers. Gold.
So we also share a love of fingernail polish. Yeah, there's been a couple of times where it's like we're getting ready to do something. It's like, hold on though, I gotta paint my nails.
Yeah, we gotta do this. Yeah.
So yes. I already know the answer to this question. The 5th question, or wait, no, 6th question.
Okay.
Android or iPhone?
iPhone, but only by default. I had what all of my friends claimed was a regular phone for years, but my regular phone worked and it had internet. It was a slider, and they all laughed at me and said, she still has a slider. And, you know, even my mom had an iPhone at this time. Okay, so my mom is like tech guru. So my mom had an iPhone as soon as it came out. And so I still have my slider, but it had internet, and I got my email on it, and it made calls. And so I was like, what's wrong with my slider? And so, like, it was literally peer pressure. Plus, I got tricked. Like, my husband was like, let's go to this let's go to the AT&T store and see what kind of deals they have. Let's just go look. Let's just go look. And so he goes and he's like, yes, we'd like a new phone for her right now, please. And I was like, I feel like I'm cheating on my other phone service provider. I just came in here and got a phone. No way. But yes, I am team iPhone. We're at the 5. It's gold. I'm not worried about getting the 6 because, you know, I was dragged kicking and screaming into the smartphone revolution. But I do love it. So
let me say now, folks, phone shaming is real.
Phone shaming is real. Peer pressure is real, even as an adult, because, you know, I'm an adult. And I was like, but my phone works. Like, it works. It works.
And they're like, important, right?
You need to get rid of that phone so you can run the world from the palm of your hands. There's no way you should have a business and not have an up-to-date phone. And a
smartphone.
It was literally
like the smartphone revolution changed everything.
Yes.
Because I was the same way. I had a candy bar phone. So it wasn't even a slider. Like, it was the most simple phone. It was, I'm not ashamed to say it, it was a Jax phone from Virgin Mobile. And I loved it because Virgin Mobile had really good service. It was really inexpensive. And, you know, the phone was like, it was the basic phone. And so everybody started calling it my first phone. And they were like, Malika, how are you an entertainment manager and you're using my first phone? They were like, you should be ashamed to pull that out and take down people's contact information. Like, no. And so Richard Douglas Jones forced me to get an iPhone. Well, he gifted me an iPhone, so I can't complain about that because you can't complain about free
it was
stuff
a great gift.
And I was really sold on iPhones for a long time, and I was one of those. I was a phone Nazi. I am a former phone shamer. I have shamed some people because of their phones. I have looked at people's phones and just been that person who's like, oh my God, what are you doing with your life? Your phone still flips. It's terrible. It's terrible.
How did you go from being a victim? See, this is how the cycle of abuse happens in real life. You are a victim, and then you go and carry out the practice in other places. Because what I did,
you go from victim to victimizer.
Yes, I would get angry. I would get angry at people that had smartphones because they would ask me questions, and I'd be like, why don't you look it up in your phone? You have a fancy phone. Or we would be going places, and they'd say, do you know exactly where this place is? And I go, you have a fancy phone. Look it up. Because they made fun of my slider. So this is how the cycle of abuse happens.
I suffered some pretty bad phone karma because of my phone shaming. I did. I've had phones like just break, like screen breaks the day before the warranty. Like I was supposed to take it out. Yeah, I was supposed to take it, and it's like phone breaks. And now your warranty is voided and you have to pay for a new phone. I've lost phones. I've had phones stolen. I've had like my case break, the protective case. And I was just like, I believe in karma and, not good karma, bad karma, but what you put out will come back to you. I did a lot of phone shaming. Everybody I phone shamed, I'm so sorry. I've learned my lesson. I am now team Android though. I am. I have, when my last phone broke, the nice people, the very, very kind people at Sprint gave me a loaner phone. And it was an iPhone. And it was the first time I had an iPhone in a little over a year. And so it was very weird returning to the iPhone family for a little while. And I remembered the apps very fondly. And I was like, oh, this is what it was like. But I'm not going back because being an iPhone person made me mean and phone shame people.
It made you mean?
It did.
It made you mean.
That iPhone changed me, honey. You don't know my life. So, yes, that's my iPhone story, and I'm sticking to it. Team Android.
Hilarious.
Over here, Team Android. Okay, and so we have now made it to question number 7. The universe is still working on our behalf because she's our homegirl, and we're still recording. So question number 7. What is the one thing you can't live without?
Oh, gosh.
I know, just one.
The one thing I cannot live without, I'm going to say is my journal. And I say that because, and people that I went to high school with are probably going to freak out, but I have 20 years worth of journals. Like, they are put away. But I have journals from the mid 90s, early 90s until today.
Wow.
So my journals are probably one thing I can't live without. I love being able to vent my feelings. I love being able to record good things. I love being able to sort out problems. And I love being able to look back at my growth. Like, you can really see, when you go through those stages where you're like, your whole life is about boy problems. Yeah. And then you go back and you're like, oh my gosh, what was I thinking? Or your whole life was, this really stressful period about this one thing. And then you go back and you're like, oh, I'm so glad that's over and not a part of my life anymore. So my journals.
That's awesome.
I love fancy journals.
Again, Giovanni and I decided a while back that we were just cousins. We decided that's what was happening. And I can totally relate to that, especially having a 20-year-old journal. A while back, I was going through my journals, and I found one that I've had for 20 years that had my old rap lyrics in it.
Oh my God!
So
MC Malika.
Yes, a lot of people.
Name.
I was Lil Shay Capone. It's mostly because I grew up on the West Coast, and gangsta rap was really hot during that time. And I like
Shay Capone.
Yes, and so I Am the Common song. I used to love her. I went through that whole transformation of like gangster rap to like conscious rap and like head raps and medallions. Yeah, I went through all of that. So even I would say before I really started writing poetry, I was writing raps. Like that's what I was doing with my life. And I was the freestyle champion in my neighborhood. So
oh my God,
that's one thing people wouldn't know about me. Malika used to be a rapper.
Wow. So I think we're gonna have a little cameo show at some point.
One of these days, I will drop a Hot 16 for y'all.
It's really funny. It's really funny that you say that because one of the things you guys will find out when you go to Purple Hair and Converse and read my bio is that I have a background in academia. I'm really an academic by trade. Okay. So one of the things I used to always say was with my friend Melanie, we used to both always say, if this academia thing doesn't work out, we're just gonna start a rap group. And it was DJ Mississippi and the GioD. So that was our name,
which I love. Whenever I text, whenever I'm talking to you, I'm always like GioD. I love that. I love it. I'm like, yes, she is.
Yes. So we used to always joke about that. So the really crazy result of that was I married a rapper.
And there it is. And so I think we can end right there, because clearly we could go on all day. So you will find Giovanni's profile at www.purplehairandconverse.com. Why don't you give the people your information so they know where to find you on all of the social networks?
My Facebook page for my company is facebook.com/Zenzile's Way Consulting. The website is zenzilesway.com, ZEN-ZILESWAY.com. Twitter, Zenzile's Way, at Zenzile's Way. Tumblr, where I put a lot of my academic stuff, is education, 4, and socialjustice.tumblr.com. And and if you're interested in, academia, research, anything like that, that background is at www.giovannidortch.com.
All right, so this has been Malaika Salam with Giovanni Dortch. We're here at Purple Hair and Converse in the compound. Over here, we're all about cool people, places, and things. See you next time. Peace.